Hello, Professor. My name is Kyle Shumate, and I will be talking about the political division of the United States based on this political cartoon on my right, your left. And so this political cartoon basically talks about political division. And I decided to research it and figure out why there is so much political division in the United States today. And really, the main thing is that there is so much political division because we lost a lot in our basically supremacy to become number one in the world, like the number one superpower. And the reason that I can find that there is so much political division is the end of the Cold War, basically. That was the start of it. And so at the end of the Cold War, we defeated Russia as our, we defeated the Soviet Union, and we basically lost a joint enemy that we could all focus on and unite over. And this caused us to basically become a infighting, basically caused us to infight because we no longer had any external threats to focus on. And so we decided to infight instead of fight those around us. Another thing that probably caused so much political discourse and political just anger is the death of the greatest generation. The greatest generation was the people who defeated an actual fascist Hitler, and they survived the Great Depression. These people were they had just gone through so much that they knew what a fascist looked like. They knew what poverty was. They knew what political discourse was because they lived through the Great Depression. And so these people just knew so much about what is currently going on in our political climate today that because of their death, we lost a lot of their wisdom, and we're doomed basically to repeat the sins of the past. And the ramifications of the political polarization of the United States is basically the people are just becoming more and more divided. The people are just getting more and more angry, and it's causing more segregation between political factions. Like, if you were to say that you were a Democrat in a red state, you would immediately be judged and ostracized. You would be treated differently. And the same thing goes if you were to say you were a Republican in a blue state. You would immediately be judged on your political ideals, and you would have many different decisions made about you before they actually knew you and got to meet you. And I just feel like that the American people can't take that. That the political discourse is just too much. There's too much anger, too much hate, too much strife going on currently, and I feel like that we need to come together as a people. And so another problem with the political discourse in American society is that Republicans and Democrats are now demonizing each other. They're making it so that the opposition just thinks they're the absolute worst. Like, there was a poll done by Pew where it said that 47% of Republicans said that Democrats are more immoral than other Americans, and 35% of Democrats held that view of Republicans. Why is that? How can you judge someone on just their political ideology? You have never met them, you don't know them. I feel like this is just an outrage, and I feel like that people shouldn't be so hasty to hate and attack without any information. And I feel like a way that we could solve this is the Bible. The Bible says in James 4:11, "Brothers and sisters, do not slander one another. Anyone who speaks against a brother or sister or judges them speaking against the law and judges it when judges it. When you judge the law, you are not keeping it, you are sitting in judgment on it." And this basically means that you need to love one another. You can't judge someone against the law unless you have the authority to do so, and none of us have the authority to judge one another. We are all sinful beings, and we all need to learn basically how to love one another, and we need to learn how to love and care one another. And I feel like that's really what we're missing in our political division over these last few years in this political discourse. So my final message is to you is to love one another, and that's basically it. Thank you for listening.